This is Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast. Your way of tapping into the Force from a galaxy far, far away. Hello there.
Hello, what have we here? Here's where the fun begins.
Count me in.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast. Today, we continue our coverage of the ongoing Star Wars television series, Skeleton Crew. And I am so very excited. Today, we've got episodes 3 and 4. They are titled Very Interesting as an Astrogation Problem, and Can't Say I Remember No At Attin. The first of which is directed by David Lowery, written by Christopher Ford and John Watts. The second of which, written by the same duo, directed by the Daniels. Most famous for Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. How you feeling? Coming off of a couple of solid episodes.
Wow, didn't know that we had some Everything, Everywhere, All at Once alumni in here. That's
Oscar
crazy.
Winners for Best Director
yeah.
directed the 4th episode of this show.
And I didn't catch it at the time either, but then in episode 3, I guess we had Alfred Molina come in as a voice.
Yes, indeed.
And it's like, oh my God, like what's kind of going on in this show? I feel like they have a lot of really good people working on it. And like for, I don't know, small role Alfred Molina has. Not to say that was my favorite thing of these 2 episodes here, but just kind of, I feel like the show overall, like this week's kind of confirmed a little bit that the production value is very, very nice. Like at least, I feel like episode 4, it was fun, and the themes and things that were going on, I think, were cool. But it was kind of a lot for one episode, and I think maybe a little bit rushed for what they were trying to do, like with the whole.
I agree. My thing for episode 4 that was really interesting, and I appreciate it. I actually think it's probably the best looking episode of the show so far, which is a credit to it, you know. My favorite shot of episode 4 is the introduction of the leader of the Troikas. I think is their tribe. Whenever he's like shrouded in shadow, and like it'd been a while since I watched a show on Disney Plus be lit at all. Not flat. And that was just like, holy shit, this is something you don't usually see on Disney Plus. So like, I'm asking the bare minimum here, but it did look good, and I appreciated that. But I don't know, it's bizarre knowing where we leave episode 3 and where we leave episode 4. It feels like there's just a ton of progress made relationship wise in a place where we probably, specifically between Jod and the kids, where I don't really see where they can feel positive about it, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, he is the pirate. He could still be playing them, and I believe he is, you know, because he's, you know, I need them, you know, is the specific way he phrases it. But, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Hasn't, like, because if he somehow convinced this other tribe and got I don't know what animals those are called.
Eopies. It's what Obi-Wan rides in Revenge of the Sith and Obi-Wan Kenobi, yeah.
But so I thought, you know, maybe if he had like a true Jedi way of getting them, instead of just taking their money, paying for them, whatever. I think at least the goal, you know, no fighting occurred. So he kind of did the Jedi thing. He kept the peace and whatever, moved on. But it just didn't feel. It felt fast for one, and it felt like kind of a little anticlimactic for what we were building up towards for whatever. And then the kids
just shoot me. That's my line of the episode. It was so fucking funny. You know what? Just shoot me. I thought that was so fucking funny. I want to, like, Jude Law is doing a really good job. You know, I am really, really enjoying his role as Jod Nanawud, Captain Jack, Captain Silvo, whichever way you want to spin it. Because we did, you know, some of the things we speculated on were just like hardcore confirmed. It wasn't even like they were going to make it a mystery or anything. It just is, you know. He was the captain at the beginning of the first episode. In the conversation with Alfred Molina's character is what hardcore confirms that. You know, he's like Captain Silvo, which is what the guy's name was. And you know, I think I found the score I was always talking about, and all that good stuff. So like, not a mystery there. The mystery now, as far as his character is concerned, because there's no doubt he's a pirate, there's no doubt he's up to no good, is that I don't think he was a Jedi. You know, now what that means, was he an Inquisitor? I do believe he's Force sensitive. I don't think he's pulling Haja Nestri.
Okay.
I think it was Haja Estri. I can't remember. It's Kumail Nanjiani's character in Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't think he's doing that. I do think he's Force sensitive. Okay. And I think it aligns with kind of what this time period is giving us with, you know, Sabine and the Force Awakens. And, you know, like, there's been an awakening. Have you felt it? Like, I think that there might be he might be one of those people who's realized he has access to the Force and he's using it to his benefit right now, you know, and realizing he can get away with a few more lies and swindles this way, which is, you know.
The key definitely could have been faked one way, and they even, like, the kids even bring it up. They're like, yeah, string or, you know, electromagnet. I don't know, they throw off some examples or whatever. But, like, the little, you know, like, little tap he does on the wall to get people to look away, and, like, some, I don't know.
Like, that's all too specific.
And I wonder...
And there's, like... and that's the only one that feels off, you know? That's the only, like, that's the only one that feels like, you know what? That feels real. Because there's one when he uses it to turn the lights off on KB, but, like, that could be fake. That could be timed, you know? Like, that's not, you know, like, that's not specific, like, and so... it's the distraction he does that makes me go, that's the one that makes me go, that's the most realistic use of the Force he's had, where I can't figure out how he would have faked it.
Is he maybe like a Kanan, in which he was just a Padawan that never became true, you know, never fully became a Jedi, but just, I don't know, he never completed the trials, and maybe it was just a runaway Padawan that survived. I'm not sure. Yeah.
If his age is to be reflective, if Jude Law's age is to be reflective of the characters, timeline-wise, I mean, he was 20s.
Yeah.
During the fall of the Jedi, so...
Yeah, that's quite the late bloomer if he hasn't become a Jedi yet. Yeah, that's...
yeah, I'm sure it happens, you know, and it could be... if they wanted to take it that route, it'd be an interesting way to spin the story, you know, like I was a 25-year-old Padawan, and there becomes this sort of pathetic, you know,
you thought
stuck
Anakin
in high
was
school
old.
sort of thing.
Yeah, we thought Anakin was too old for the Order. No. Jod, I don't know, coming in just absolutely throwing away all the traditions. But, yeah, no, there's definitely something going on with him. I for some reason, from last week, I remembered there was something, at least something that I thought was a little suspicious with Jod and SM-33. And for when I started episode 4, I thought that he was an old captain of SM-33 at some point. And I don't know how that solidified in my head, but I went back and I watched the scene that I thought it came from. And SM-33, he tells him, I, you know, kind of just the pirate, you know, but very slow. Like he says I first as just yes, and he leaves, and then he turns around and says I again. And I was just, I guess maybe I was like, oh, is this like his programming not allowing him to say I to an old captain because of, you know, Fern being the new one? And I don't know, my head was spinning from there. And then it literally from that's all that it was. But no, yeah, that's I can't. I don't know.
That is funny because I laughed and moved on with that scene. I thought it was. I think it was paid for. I think it was played for laughs. But yeah, no, that's I love 33. I think that's a fun droid to have introduced here. And the problem he posed in episode 4 was compelling. And frankly, the episode 3, the storyline where they're, you know, Jod's got to prove himself a little bit to the kids. at the beginning, and he's got to go back for 33 and all that good stuff. It's a good time. I like that a lot, and I really appreciate David Lowery's work with episodes 2 and 3. Episode 3 gave us Kim. I really dig Kim. I think that's one of the better character design and introductions we've gotten out of Star Wars this year. I think that species is dope as fuck. Yeah. I love that. I love that she's just an owl dressed like Count Dooku. That's pimp.
I mean, come on. Why has it taken this long to get creatures or just species like this in Star Wars? I feel like has there ever been an owl just in the background anywhere, or like have they?
No, this is a fresh brand new species, which is kind of bizarre. It almost feels like a lob to have done a bird thing at some point.
Yep, and we have
no.
elephant like what's oh my god, little Neil. Yeah, Neil like is
Neil.
I feel like we've seen like a grown up in most
we've seen stuff like it,
but not quite,
because Max Rebo, the leader of the band, is a similar species, but isn't the same species.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know. There's just a bunch of species stuff going. Like at least on At Attin, like there's a bunch of different species. Like I don't know. They just got like it's a complete melting pot, and I don't know a bunch of things that I saw this episode that I did not previous is in the ruin or in Akin, or I guess the mirror
Akron.
Akron, thank you. The mirror planet we're on, or I don't know if all 9 are supposed to be like this, or if just these 2 are specifically alike. But they went into a house, one of their houses, and like, oh, this tree's too big. But like there was this mural in the background that they were like, I feel like they were focusing on. Like the kids were kind of walking in, but they kind of stuck on this mural that was there, kind of past the front door, but still behind it was behind the kids when they were looking at the tree in the living room. And then I went back to episode 3 or just before, and there like it's the same art style, kind of like the Rebels mural a little bit, but just with different species. Like I feel like I wonder if that's the point, like, of these planets, is to put all of these species here on this planet. If maybe it's not just analysts, or I like it, it's not just for money, or I don't know, the great work, or maybe there's something to specifically like these species, because even Neil like says like, oh my, there's so many different kinds of aliens here, like whenever they get to the pirate port. So like you would think their planet actually has a bunch or a lot of species, but I guess on the grand scheme, actually maybe not, maybe.
Yeah, it seemed pretty human dominated,
that's true. Yeah, just
and so did At Akron. At Akron didn't seem to have any.
That's true.
Didn't seem to have any aliens actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, we saw an Ithorian because he was leading the Hammerhead people. He was like on top of their battleship, or their little tank equivalent. But like I feel like beyond that we didn't see many. I can't remember off the top of my head anyway, but
that might be
the Jewels of the Old Republic are a really interesting concept, and I love the way Kim spit it out for us. I love it was a creative exposition drop, and I really loved the way they did it. They set it up as like a little mystery for one character to solve, and all that. It was great. I loved it. And, we got some important information drops, some stuff which we, again, theorized about was confirmed. They don't even know the Empire.
Yeah. Or that the
they
war
don't even
happened.
Know, yeah. Which,
Alderaan?
They don't know the Republic fell. Yeah. They don't know the Republic fell. They don't know the Galactic Civil War happened. They don't know that an Empire reigned for 20 years. They don't know that an empire started reigning before they were born.
Yeah. But how? Why? Like, who? Like, if they're making so much money, or they have all of this stuff, like, who's the benefactor? Who is the person who like? I don't know. I feel like there's. Is it just these 9 planets that were just cooking and just had to be hidden, and we're just making so I feel like there's just there's something dark that hasn't just been unveiled yet.
There's definitely something sinister here. And them being referred to as the jewels of the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they've become known as the jewels of the Old Republic, or if the Old Republic regarded them as the jewels of their government, because that's an important distinction too. Have they become legendary as the jewels of the Old Republic? Like is that just kind of what they're called now, or is that what they were called before they were hidden away and all that good stuff?
This first time it's crossing my mind. I don't know if the timeline necessarily works here, but Plagueis. I guess I was trying to think of like some dark presence. I guess it could just still be Palpatine and whatever. I don't know, like cooking in the background. But I wonder if one of the other 9 is Octu, or if that's just
Exegol and all that stuff. I doubt it. I doubt it simply because I think, given that the At Akron and At Attin are so similar.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could be dealing with every planet has its mirror, and Octu and Exegol would be that for each other. But even then, I don't know what would make those jewels of the Old Republic. Yeah. I think that with the cookie cutter neighborhoods, they're making a point that they did cookie cutter planets.
Yeah. It seems all of them are like this. Not just these 2 that we lucked out to see the mere planet of At Attin. Yeah, instead of
my new theory is that they're not organic.
Oh, okay. Oh.
That they're battle stations.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I guess it was a school that they were on top of. That's kind of where they turned their base of operations. And there was the largest turret I've ever seen, like on just I don't know. That thing was that's just the school turret. That's just what's just on a turret. School. And I mean, if every planet is to be the same, then that's they got some.
That's why I'm like, I don't know, and I don't want to say maybe they're not organic, but maybe it's sort of like a Starkiller base situation where it was a planet, and then they hollowed it out and made it something else, and maybe battle station is a stretch too far, but maybe I don't know. Like, there's just
I
think they could do something really interesting with the concept that, to try to ensure their security, the Republic, like, they could make a really interesting point about the differences between the Republic and the Empire and how they're getting really thin and the New Republic is corrupt and all that good stuff. If they go, the Old Republic tried to do planet-killing battle stations before the Empire even did.
oh, wow. That'd be...
like that.
What a flip that would be. I mean, that would...
Right.
Whoa, 9 that could, like, if all of them have the capability,
and then one of the later governments was like, we need to have these planets evacuated and destroyed, because there could be something there. Like, the treasure, I don't think, is going to be face value. It's not going to be, here is a vault full of dataries. I just don't think that that's what it's going to be when they get to At Attin. I think the treasure is going to be something like, it's the planet itself or whatever.
When they got up in the supervisor's room, or like the tower up there, which I mean, I wonder who the supervisor is on the planet. Like, I'm thinking it's just a robot. I don't even think it's a human at this point. I just think it's
it's going to be a wizard, a Wizard of Oz sort of situation where
But they focused on all, like, the tablets that had the names of the planets and the coordinates. Obviously, that's what they were going for. But above them, there was something. There was like a mechanism. There was, I don't know. It looked kind of like Kim's, like, observatory a little bit. Like, it could locate a planet, or like it would rotate to kind of fix on a planet. And I mean, if that's just what if that's kind of just the Death Star beam can just come out of that tower, and that's
reminds me a little bit of Asgard, the Bifrost in the MCU. That sort of, like it would, I could see that. But that's why I'm like, when it comes to like the supervisor, and we've got Carrie Condon in a Star Wars, by the way, which is huge. She's playing Fern's mom, and you'll know her from there. You're all boring. You're all feckin' boring. She's Banshees of Inisherin, Colin Farrell's sister in that movie. But the whole I want a meeting with the supervisor, and they'll be fine. When we were kids, me and my friends would run off and all that good stuff. So I want a meeting with the supervisor, and the supervisor says this, and maybe it's a part of the great work and all Yeah, they're analysts, but what are they analyzing? And I really appreciate that they are building up this mystery much more compellingly and doing things along the way. Like, I appreciate that this episode, you can tell they're doing a little bit of a Peter Pan thing. Like, the kids come out of the shadows, kind of, we got a little bit of the Lost Boys thing going on there, I really, really I loved that character. What was her name? Heta.
Yeah.
I loved Heta. I thought she was so cute. One of my favorite little introductions in these two episodes too. Her relationship with Neil quickly forming was cute as hell.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And one of those idealistic episodes for sure.
Yeah, I don't know, an actual relationship that did seem like it did build over the episode, like, and not Jude Law, or just not Jod with the kids. Like, they do kind of, I don't know, they shouldn't really be trusting him, because with the coordinates and Kim, like, he says, Kim's gonna backstab us, whatever. But the kids they put together that, like, he was kind of the one in the wrong here, I feel like. But the only reason they went with him is because he took the coordinates for what they thought was their home, and they're like, well, okay, we have to go with him. He's the only one who has the coordinates. I feel, I feel like they've just been stuck with him every time, and then there's been no true reason for them to be like, okay, we want to be with him, now. And
yay, you came back for us, like all that good, like, I don't know. It was quick. It developed really, and I mean, like, I guess they're kids, they'd be thankful to see the only person they know.
Yeah.
They don't want to be stranded here forever.
True.
It's not like it's, so
yeah, I guess it's better
I
than
don't
what
know.
they had. Yeah, well, I mean, they were about to be just sent out into war, into battle, for their first time, and that's just all they know.
Fucking Neil, man.
Yeah.
Neil is a G. I love Neil. His whole, like, I don't want to be here. I'm afraid, and and he's the one who's actually leading them as he's saying all of it, and then they hear a noise, and he's the first to get fucking ready. I'm like, okay, Neil. And then whenever SM-33 starts going bad, he throws rocks at him. It's a David Goliath thing. Right. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Neil's that fucking boy. Yeah. I love him.
Neil said, pick on someone your own size, while he's just over there being 2 foot tall. I don't know. Yeah,
the
dude
is Horace. Yeah, no, it's incredible.
He came in. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he was the character, at least of episode 4 for sure. And in convincing, just who knows, maybe the future of Akron to be a peaceful planet. Maybe, who knows? Whenever the new leadership takes place and it's not so brutish or whatever, they're we need some kindness on this planet, and just him simply giving a meal to some hungry kids, or just not wanting to fight. That's, I don't know, to them fighting is all they know. And I don't know, it just took one person from an outside world to be like, hey, like, fighting's actually bad, by the way, and like it's really nice to not have to do it. And I don't know, just kind of having that like realization of, oh yeah, like maybe fighting isn't that great. Like, it's just their world. It's all they knew. And the I don't know, the fact that there are pretty much only humans on that planet now, I feel like that's something. I don't know, like, in the statue that was there on that planet looked awful human.
Yeah, specifically not having a face.
That was, yeah.
Is that a reveal they're building to, or is
like
it?
Yeah, like, because it felt human, at least, and maybe that was like the failure of this planet, is that it wasn't so inclusive
Diverse.
with all of the other other species or something, or I feel like the Empire, like at least to me, it feels like this is the Empire has set up these 9 planets or something happened a long time ago to set up these planets, and then I feel like the Empire had a specific task for like each planet. It was something a little different, and then once that task was done, that population doesn't matter anymore. That planet just doesn't matter to them anymore.
Right.
So once the work is done, boom, cut off all funds, give it to the rest of the planets or whatever. I don't know, but it feels, I don't know if it's like the Empire coming in and being like, all right, this planet, we're going to kill basically all of you. Thank you for your work. Or if it was like a self revolution, if maybe these people of the planet found out what was going on and then had kind of like their own civil kind of war.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they do imply that it's been a while, like it's been a long time. Like this tree is way too big to be in the house.
Heta hasn't known a life outside of war, is what it sounds like.
That's true.
Like she's literally grown up in a war. That's why I'm like, I'm not even. I don't really even have a guess as to what the significance of each planet is right now, and I think that that's something that'll slowly be revealed to us. I do think that the supervisor, my theory is that they all have the same supervisor, all 9 of the Jewels of the Republic. I don't think it's something where they're all, governed individually, I guess. I think that that's why you would hide whoever the leader of this planet was. I'm guessing it's the leader if that's the statue.
What's the timeline with Thrawn? No, these planets were long established before Thrawn, but I was wondering if he could be somehow taking them over. No, he's gone. He's just
actually he'd be freshly back.
Oh. Okay.
But like freshly back.
Okay, yeah. No, not him. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of any like Palpatine. It could just be Palpatine. The dude comes back. Shit. I mean, if this is how all of the Final Order set up and his cloning and maybe this. Like, Exegol is an ancient planet, right? Like, it's not something that was created for the Final Order. Like, it's
no, not by any stretch. And that's why, talk of the Old Republic and this era of Star Wars specifically, it's very, very unexplored in modern canon. Most of our Old Republic stuff, if not all of it, comes from Legends and, the extended universe. Or expanded universe, my bad. That's why, I wonder if they're doing something with Whim's obsession. We're getting a lot of Jedi talk. Is it something to do with the old war between the Jedi and Sith? Is there something there? And it could it be that we're rationalizing it too modernly with our understanding of the governance of Star Wars around this time? Are we well, maybe the Old Republic wanted to defend itself, and we know that the Republic became disillusioned and started doing all of that, but I guess I just don't know if maybe there's something here where they're gonna disillusion Whim and the kids from the Jedi. Did the Jedi have these planets erected, and or did the Sith, conversely? But given that they're the jewels of the Old Republic, I imagine it would be the Jedi. But
okay, yeah, because SM-33, at least he seems to have been there during, I don't know, whatever occurred, some battle there, because he says he remembers the warriors on At Attin, like they were in the shadows or wherever, the fog at where they were, but he was like, no, that these remind me of At Attin, these warriors. So if maybe, I don't know, maybe it was just the Jedi came to these nine planets already existed or something. They just came to these 9 planets, wanted to make their perfect utopias or something, I don't know, and just see if they could control a planet instead of just being the peacekeepers or something. And because, it seems there like there has to be like if a human goes into the supervisor's tower when they're not supposed to, or something, they hear one thing they're not supposed to, and it just unravels it all, or something, some detail. But let's see, they called the supervisor's tower, didn't they call it like the sunken ruin, or like the fallen sanctum? Oh, okay, fallen.
Yeah,
that makes a little more sense.
So it's after it's been destroyed. So like maybe once upon a time it was also the supervisor's tower, but modernly it wouldn't be known as anything besides that. Like
Yeah, I don't know. She was well, I already forgot. Heta, yeah. She was not cool with going there. She was like, that's I'll go help my dad, or whatever. I gotta go
as far as I go.
So
yeah.
I wonder if there is just still stuff that goes on, because like
and the reference of sanctum, like that indicates something a bit more important than tower. Like it indicates a certain, maybe not holiness, but there's something elevated about it. If it was like, well, that's just the fallen data tower, nobody gives a shit. But the fallen sanctum, it's like, that's
there's something there
that grants it some importance.
Yeah, these robots, I don't know. I think it's all just these safety droids and stuff. Like they're the only things that are outside ever. Every other human is just inside their house or just inside a building. No one's ever outside. It's just these safety droids, and they, they're the ones being like, okay, yeah, we'll get you a meeting with the supervisor, but it's, it's just them. I feel like it's just it's like an Agent Smith, or kind of, like I don't know who else, but like it just feels whatever secret there is, and I wonder if it's different for every planet, or if there's just one massive, like,
I gotta guess there's one massive purpose for all that was at some point for all 9 that only now At Attin would be able to produce on, which is what makes it specifically special, And I really dig the idea. And maybe I don't know how much I dig it, I should say. I just know that right now the most likely option for the supervisor is a droid. Given the ancient nature of the planets and the coming from the Old Republic, a droid makes the most sense. We've gotten the most, like, we had a moment with Jad and Nawad when he was looking for 33 where he was like, God, droids. All that good stuff. We got, all the droids patrolling the planet. Let's see, there was one other the way that they got SM-33 to lock the fuck in, which is just that they're easy to manipulate. Kind of be like, oh yeah, I just got to pick the right words. If somebody picked the words at some point that was like, run this planet until it's a perfect utopia.
Yeah.
And they're completely blocked off from the galaxy.
Yep.
There's a chance it's just some robot. Like maybe we're building towards the realization that they're all going to be disillusioned with what the great work is. Is there even a great work, or are they just laboring away their days, kind of plugging and chucking numbers when they don't matter?
Even on Akron or whatever, like there was the autopilot landing sequence that was still like active. Like whenever they just were landing on the planet, but like boom, just like dive down, and he was like, "Oh, I'll deactivate it, no problem." But it's like even on that planet, there's still something that's active that lands every ship. I feel like it's just a robot makes the most sense to me, and like these test scores and stuff. I really like. I'm just trying to go as dark as I can, which sounds really weird. I'm trying to like come up with this most sick, twisted, I don't know, reality, but like it feels like. If you do good on the tests, you'll be an analyst and you'll make money and, I don't know, do whatever the normal job is up there. But then if you don't do well, you'll just be a laborer. You'll go down in the mines. You'll be the one to mint. I don't know if they're minting the coins still, or if they just have a shit ton of them, or if there's just
Oh, and that's why I did the theory. I posed the theory that it's not organic. I think that the maintenance of maintaining that illusion would require a lot of labor if the planet's not organic, so like maybe that would be what the hard labor would be, but there's no real telling, how long does a conspiracy like that last before people go, man, this kid I grew up with, he just kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Yeah.
never saw him again after the tests.
Well, if that's just their world, you know, like you graduate school and you go to your job, and then that's that. I don't know, like well,
yeah, I mean, it's funny, but like, you know, it's not that strange because, you know, like how many people that we went to high school with have you
Yeah.
not seen since we graduated? You know,
Yeah.
like it's, you know, it's not like it's a small world or anything. It's a pretty big world. I don't know it.
Yeah, I wonder who that human or that statue could have been if it's just a generic leader of the planet at the time, and they were trying to say that their supervisor, you know, their supervisor was a human, like one of them.
I 100% think that is going to be I think we're going to get a faux man behind the curtain because it's not going to be a man, you know. I think that could be really cool where it's posing
Is it
as a human.
No, I mean, no way, right? Like, I mean,
not currently.
Yeah, like it would
could have been once upon a time.
Yeah, I wonder if just like what kind of like he kind of looks like an older like security droid. Like if you were to
For sure.
I don't know, just go back a few generations, like maybe that is him, but in his mind works perfectly. Like, I mean, maybe they're just going with every droid works, like you can just trick them and they're super easy to trick. But I wonder if it, you know, they're playing with him a whole lot of how easy it is to trick him. Oh no, because Fern does trick her like droid at home and like
her nanny droid.
So I don't know, maybe because at least SM-33 was there whenever these coordinates got sliced off with the lightsaber. Like that's, I mean, it was a saber that sliced through that, and so it would be really cool. Like it seems that it's a Jedi protecting the secret or whatever, but it'd be even crazier if it's like a Sith that is like, no, the Republic cannot have this 9 planet killing weapon battle stations, and like this is the only one that remains. I have to hide the secret, because it doesn't sound very Jedi-like to say if anyone comes looking for the secret, tear them limb from limb. That I don't know. That doesn't sound
well. That's like I think that's why I'm not sold on SM-33 being important to the planet. Just that he has found it before. Now, you know, maybe no.
Like who?
It really does depend on how long ago SM-33 crash landed on At Attin, you know, because they were stranded. That's an important thing to know. Like, note is that the ground grew over them on At Attin.
That's true.
You know, like they tore up land when the ship took off. It wasn't like it was hidden under some brush. No, the land grew over the ship. It'd been a long fucking time.
Probably the
bodies
same
were
time,
completely rotted.
Probably at the same time that this Akron thing happened. They found the coordinates to At Attin, or got them there from that planet, shot off,
for sure,
and then just I don't know, maybe just crashed and they're forever stranded there. I wonder like what made them crash, or if I don't know, just maybe their ship wasn't in the best shape, you know, coming off of at Akron. Or,
and you know, we saw people on the ship at Attin. Like there's somebody on the ship in At Attin that Jude Law pulls a sword from, like his chest.
Yeah,
you know, like
that's old.
Could there have been an attempted coup and they, you know, like the captain? Maybe the captain's still there. Maybe the old captain is who ascended to the role of supervisor or something. You know, like he got there and realized that the treasure wasn't real treasure; it was the planet, and he decided he was going to take. You know, so like we could be dealing with a lot of interesting stuff, and I don't know. I don't know where to think right now, and I appreciate that I don't know where to think because it's still keeping me really entertained week to week. Like, we got some really, really important character beats, even if I did feel it was a little rushed, from Neil. And Fern. Fern had a really vulnerable moment with Wim there that I appreciated.
Crazy.
I think it's interesting that Wim has really, really fallen off the wayside character-wise.
That seemed at least to be the main character of the kids, but now I mean, I guess KB might be the one that's kind of the most on the side, but I don't know. Sometimes she's even had more than Wim. So I mean, maybe there is like a force sensitive moment where one of the kids is force sensitive, or okay. I don't know. Maybe just like that. There's just a why all of these specific species are here is that. I don't know. Maybe these kids are just likely to be force sensitive. I don't know. And just like in this planet, and that's just their way of finding them. But the first time I thought that Wim would kind of have like his force, awakening moment. But I think honestly, if it happens to anyone out of the kids, it's probably going to be Fern. If like for my money,
I agree.
And like she's always, her mom, like it's not. She has to be at the top for whatever reason, and that symbol that she has carrying around everywhere. I feel like Fern is just, there's something more going on with Fern, and her mom is something. I don't know. Like there's something going on there. And I don't need any of the kids, I guess, to have their Force Awakening moment, but it would feel kind of right to see like this new, just instead of you just have to be a Skywalker or whatever, you just have to have it in your blood. If there is truly this awakening across the galaxy, and I don't know, just see how it kind of forms in kids, or I don't know, it would just be a really cool way to continue that. Like it just can happen. The Force will just find its way, it just wherever it needs to be, it can be. But yeah, I mean, this, at least episode 3, like, oh my god, finally we are using planets and moons and stuff in the background. Like I feel like Star Wars should have been for a while. Like Kim's little, I don't know, she's on a moon, I think, of just
the outpost.
Like, oh my god, like that's kind of just like a dream location for me, just to be posted up
gorgeous.
And looking outside my window, just seeing a Jupiter-like planet. That shot of them walking across the kid, Jod leading them. Like, I mean, E.T. as fuck, pretty much, but I thought it was sick. And then just, I don't know, a lot of the background shot, like them walking into Kim's observatory, like you saw like just the starry night and then the moon behind them. And like I feel like there's just a lot of practical sets. Like I feel like they're using the volume obviously in some points, but then even inside the ship, when I thought like it would just be the volume for sure, like the camera is moving like in 3D space. Like, I mean, much more than I think it could be a volume. And like, it feels, at least the production, but I have not been disappointed at all with like how the show looks, or like it just it feels like Star Wars. And even though this is a ship that I've never seen and it's old and it doesn't fully remind me of the Falcon or anything, it's not ringing any bells that way. Everything fits in the universe so far, even with a new owl that's never been in here, or even what's the evil captain right now, the bad Brutus, or is that right?
Brutus.
Yeah, whatever animal whatever he is, like I think it's just
the wolf guy.
Man, like this is I don't know.
That's a species that actually has been introduced. It was in the 2D micro series for Clone Wars.
Okay.
Oh, what's it got? Scheistavanen. Yep, nickname for Wolfmen.
Wolfmen. Yeah, I don't know. We got some scarier stuff in here. Like even SM-33. Like he looks all, I don't know, he kind of does the Superman thing. The Christopher Reeve, whenever he's slouching over and whatever in one mode, and then whenever he wants, he can just stand straight up and just look, okay, Jod's like, okay, you know what? Actually, cool. You're good. No need to mess with you. There's just a lot of really good, just different feelings in here. And the music, I thought, like, I don't know, I was watching from episode 3, just like when Kim was introduced, this like,
I love the music,
like Halloween-y kind of. Oh man, yeah, it's, I don't know,
the music at the very beginning of episode 4, where I was like, let's fucking go, dude. Like we are. I love the music, and gotta give some love to the boy, the next up, Mick Giacchino, fresh off of The Penguin, also doing Skeleton Crew, doing some good shit for us. I dig it. I dig what he's doing with this a lot, because one thing that I really appreciate is how distinctive his music sounds in comparison to his dad's. Like, there's not a real, like, I couldn't really go, oh man, that sounds like Michael Giacchino's work. Like, no, I don't think so. I think it's like it is very singular, and I really appreciate that. And the way that I'm much more impressed with the Skeleton Crew score than I was the Penguin score. And the Penguin score was really good. It's just that this is a little bit more my vibe, you know. I think that he's doing a really good job at paying homage to old Star Wars themes, and that sort of paying reverence to that style. Specifically, like 80s John Williams, whether it was E.T. or Indiana Jones or Star Wars or anything, while still being his own composer. And I think it's really, really strong so far.
Yeah, I've at least, I guess I said I can't complain as how the show looks and stuff, but music is another thing. Like, I mean, it is looking good, it is sounding good, and I mean the kids, I think, are actually performing better than I thought they would. You know,
I like them a lot.
Weak, and I think the episode 4 was the first time that I was kind of like, like it felt like it lost a little bit of steam that it had. Like the first 3 episodes, I mean, it was moving, and I was like, oh man, this is like far, far better than I thought. And you know, it's just episode 4. We still got more to go, and it could just be a slower beat. But I mean, it felt, at least what they were trying to do with this, you know, the planet and everyone's fighting, and it's just infighting, and they only trade, like, I guess they still export their hides, you know, for ammunition. So that's kind of interesting, right? Is that, like, this planet is known about, but it's, you know, no one's still found at Attin. I guess the coordinates are gone, whatever, but maybe it's such a ruined planet that no one, you know, no shot it's going to be one of the, people probably don't even know of the one of the 9, you know, or the 9 other planets. Right. It's just at Attin at this point. Probably, you know, is that do you think the legend of the 9 planets is known at all amongst other people, or?
I'm not sure. It, you know, doesn't feel like something that would be wide knowledge. Doesn't feel like it'd be common knowledge by any stretch, but you know, I wouldn't put it past someone who ends up on At Akron to know about it, you know. I don't think people would like seek it out and be like, well, like, besides pirates, you know, would seek it out like, hey, I'm looking for At Attin. Like, if you're looking to trade hides for ammunition and stuff, I don't think you're real. Like,
yeah, it's just hide. Like, I can't. Like, there's no way, like, the same people who were running these planets before are like, okay, we're going to let your civilization fall and just take the hides from you now. Like, your planet is just for the hides now. I feel like it's just like a third party.
Yeah, this is obviously,
something.
Yeah, this is,
I don't know.
Yeah, whole other thing, for sure.
But I was wondering, because we're still on this planet, and we still haven't left the fallen sanctum, I guess. And I wonder if the kids will be like, well, you know, we didn't find the coordinates here, but let's go to one of the other 9 planets that we have the coordinates for, and let's hope it's not scratched out there, you know. And I feel like it'll probably be a recurring pattern of just At Attin, for whatever reason, is scratched out, no going there anymore. And I mean, it feels like they are carbon copies of each other, so why is just one of the planets special? Or is it just that it's the last one remaining? Is it that there was a great war and they took out all of them, but they couldn't get this last one, you know? Or
I think that's why it's important, is that it is the last alive, essentially, that it is the last that's still kicking in some capacity. And maybe it is that there are a supervisor for every planet, and this supervisor got greedy and took out all the other ones. You know, maybe there's something there.
Okay.
You know, like, that's why I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I'm digging it, though. I'm having a great time, and I think that this show's extremely charming. A lot of fun. It's got a great heart to it. I love Neil. Neil is definitely the beating heart of the show right now. I absolutely adore him. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're sitting in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, we get. I guess, who knows where we're going next episode? Could be one of the other planets that we have, or somehow. Yeah, I guess there's no way they can go back to At Attin yet. So
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I wonder because Kim does say to KB, like, "Hey, call me anytime." By the way, like, no, if you ever need help, just let me know. And I wonder if just their little headpieces they have, if they can just make that call anyway. Like, if it's just they actually have each other always, and if she's just like, "Hey, like this planet didn't actually turn out to be," I don't know, maybe she comes in and helps them out. I don't know. She just seems like a really really cool character that I want to see more of.
Yeah, I would like, and it's played by Aaliyah Shawkat, who is really, really good. I love her in, I mean, Arrested Development is what most people will know Aaliyah Shawkat from. She's Maybe.
Okay.
Did you ever watch Arrested Development?
No, I guess never watched. I know of it, but never did watch it myself. Wow, she's also
she's one of the, I mean,
Big Mouth,
one of the main cast there.
It's really weird. The only thing that I get looking through her film, like Big Mouth, I don't know, it was a really weird college show. Oh, Adventure Time too? No way. It's kind of some cool voices that she's done over the time, huh? But yeah, I don't know. Definitely one of my just an instant favorite for me of just Star Wars characters that's introduced an astrology owl that is just obsessed with planets and knowing where all of them are and has records of all. Yeah, thank you very much, Skeleton Crew, for providing Kim.
Yeah, I think I'm in. I think I'm down. Yeah. That seems cool.
So, I mean, if that's all we got of her, that's okay. But it feels there's some history between Crimson Jack and her. So I feel like that's got to be, I don't know, resolved a little bit, or maybe they'll make peace and help each other out. But I don't know. Did it seem that like Jod had kind of like a romantic thing going on with her, like at one point, because he's like, "I know how I left things with you," or something. Like, was it that, or was it just kind of like he just kind of stabbed her in the back,
betrayed her in the past?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Like, I think all the stuff that he said that they should be concerned about with Kim is stuff he did to Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, this man, he's got, I don't know. He does have a past. He's just been a pirate, just been a scoundrel. That's all he's been doing. So, like, I don't think there's no way it's connected to the bigger thing and everything that's going on. But, yeah, I wonder what his Force story is. I get, like, where his Force sensitivity comes from and wherever, how that comes to be. But I feel like it would make sense if it's darker and not, I don't know, because if he's a Jedi, I don't know. It doesn't make much sense for him to be a Jedi, or maybe just.
Well, I mean, it's been a long time since the Republic fell. Maybe there can't have always been just pure virtuous Jedi who did nothing but the right thing, and not all of them could be like, well, I'm going to use my power for evil. Like there had to have been some normal motherfuckers out there. You know what I'm saying? Who were like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna do me then. Like that's kind of how if he was a Jedi, I think it'll set an interesting precedent for a new type of Jedi post Order 66. Maybe he saw the flaws in the Jedi, kind of perceived that sort of thing was coming and left the Order prior to the fall of the Republic. Maybe there's something there. It's clear that he's not the absolute image of virtue that you would normally find amongst Jedi. So but I also don't think he's a bastion of evil. A theory that's being floated is that he was an Inquisitor, and I don't see that more than I don't see him being a Jedi.
No, his Force abilities, even though he's using them, it seems that he doesn't have it's not to a crazy level. I feel like it's. He doesn't seem that experienced with the Force. I don't know why.
No, he can't rely on
it. And he's using it more of as a tool rather than trusting his intuition or anything like that. So I feel like it is just maybe that he was just the not so virtuous type, happened to be Force sensitive, just kind of never joined the Order and just kind of had this in his back pocket and decided to be a pirate instead. I don't know, maybe he didn't even. I don't know. I'm curious of when, I guess when he knew, or if it's been all the time he's just been a pirate or something. So, but yeah, I think at least I feel like next episode, like we're going to one of the other planets, but that's about all I can like think of for like next immediate what's gonna happen is maybe I guess a run-in with the old pirate crew. Maybe I don't know if Kim might snitch or like those
I'd like to see
X-Wing
Brutus
pilots.
back in the fold. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'd like to see Captain Brutus get back in here. But last big swing. Going back to the tests and the placements and all that good stuff. That Jod is from At Attin. And was shipped off planet after he failed his test. Like it was like banished essentially, and he's been trying to find his way home ever since.
That is sick. That he knows about Attin and he just yearns for it to go back there, but he can't ever find how to get back.
He can't find it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Like what Fern says to Wim, like, yeah, did you hear what happened to a guy that didn't do well on his test last time? Yeah, he got sent to the mines and we never saw him again. And, I mean, maybe
that's why I'm like, I
okay.
He could be the source of that legend among school children and stuff like that. Like I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a big swing, but he says, I'm like you, I'm alone, and all that good stuff. So like, I don't know. I don't fully buy into it, but I do think it's a fun possibility that maybe the treasure for him is a little more personal than just making him rich.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it feels, at least right now, that's all he's in it for. He's been a pirate. He said, "Yeah, I finally found the next big score." But I mean, obviously, by the end of this, he has to have some revelation, right? Of some like.
Well, and if he was, yeah, you would hope so. If he grew up on At Attin, also the Jedi never would have found him. He never would have joined the Order if he was Force sensitive. His Force sensitivity would have just eked by, and it would barely be there now.
Man.
So like, I don't know. I kind of like that theory. I'm not buying into it 100%, but I do like the concept of him having come from At Attin, and that's why he's desperate to find it. Not just that it's a treasure of some sort.
Oh. Could he be from At Attin, actually? Like, he seems to, I don't know, he does some stuff off screen, with the other tribe. He just pays them, I guess.
Right.
But if, I don't know, maybe we see that interaction. He's like, yo, this is actually my home. Like, I've been from here. I've gone on, done greater things. And maybe they're like, oh, you're the one. You're the statue. I don't know. Like, maybe they just think, he's legend. I don't know. Maybe legendary and no, but he still just said he paid him. If he was truly that, they'd be like, "Oh, we'll follow you." And
also,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that he says at 333 says At Akron, and he's like, At Akron. Is that this planet?
That's
like
true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess they thought they were on At Attin because like. If he was,
but if it's his home, he's like, At Akron. Oh, like, and it was 1-on-1 with 33 and stuff. So like,
that's true. Yeah. It'd be really cool if he was from At Attin to begin with, and he just somehow escaped or somehow
he's a victim of the system that At Attin has set up or something, and he can bring them home and expose it and all that good stuff. That could be interesting.
Is he fucking Fern's dad? Is he? We haven't seen the father or really any other parent. I don't know of the other kids. But we've only seen Fern's mom, and I don't know. Seems. No offense to her, seems to fit the bill of a divorced mother. It just everything. I don't know. It just kind of seems that's what's going on. And I don't know. Maybe, Jod was here. He was on At Attin. I don't know. I guess Fern's. Yeah.
I'm gonna take it a bridge further.
Okay, let's go.
Fern's mom's brother. He's her uncle. And that's why her mom is so obsessed with her doing well, is because she's seen what happens when one of the children doesn't do well because it happened to her brother.
Okay, it's kind of cooking a little bit. This is I don't know.
Yeah.
At first, like him being from At
Why
Attin
she's
sounded
obsessed
a
with her
little
being
crazy,
top of the
but-
class, and all that good stuff. So like again, I don't fully buy into it. All of this is trying to justify that theory, but I don't know it. Like I think they're going to hit us with something that's a little bit unexpected. Because I think that there's going to be kind of a. I don't think there's going to be a pop at the end of this mystery. I think it's going to it's going to sizzle. It's going to fizzle out. It's going to kind of be like, whoa, we thought we were building towards something huge, and it's going to end up being, oh, it's just some fucking droid. So like the thing is going to be whatever At Attin is, not who's running At Attin and stuff like that. It'll.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah,
but
we're in a good spot. That's for sure. I mean, even after a week-ish episode, for the show, it was, I don't know, it still kept me, and I'm still definitely wanting to come back next week. So like might be the weakest show of the episode so far, but still, at least what's happening in the episode, I loved. Maybe a little anticlimactic for what I thought, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny. It's my favorite so far. I'm not gonna lie. 4 was my favorite so far.
Yeah, I
don't know. I can't blame you one bit for feeling that way. I just thought it was the first time I don't know. The first 3 felt like those all go together. This felt like the first step outside of that.
Yeah.
And I kind of appreciated that first step beyond what our setup was.
That's true. Yeah,
and it was. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was slower. It's more self-contained than the other 3 episodes. But I don't know. The first one's pretty self-contained.
Just wanted more to the Truets and the more to the clans and more. I don't know. It felt like they were just kind of rushed into it and like told like, "Yep, we're doing this. You're leading us into battle." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I got this is what we're doing."
Well,
okay.
I have a feeling that something like this is probably going to be more the format of the show until we get back to At Attin. Like, kind of the kids perusing the galaxy and finding these different places and discovering the differences between their civilization and other civilization and all that good stuff. And until they get home and are kind of like, wow, I have a lot to appreciate, but what's sinister here? What's going on?
Okay.
But regardless, I gotta leave for work in about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna do the plugs, and then we can go ahead and I got a trivia question for you. I don't know if you have one for me or anything, but I do have one. It's all good. I didn't think of mine until right before the episode because I forgot to, and it was an easy one. Whatever. But yeah, if you would head to Blue Sky. You can follow me at Colton Robertson. That's where you'll get most updates on anything we're doing. We also over there on the Penny Bloom Dispatch and the Sentimentalists. No Fulcrum over there yet, and I doubt there will be. I've barely used the Penny Bloom or Sentimentalist platforms anyway. I feel like I've gotten a lot more pub out of using my account. I think it makes it more personal for people, and they feel like they're supporting me and not a brand, or us and not a brand, and I think it's working. But yeah, so Colton Robertson on Blue Sky. Go ahead and check that out. Follow me there. You can download, rate, and review wherever you are listening. 5 stars would be appreciated, but any review will do. That helps our SEO a lot. It's all based on how many reviews, not how good the reviews are. So you can go ahead and do whatever you want there. I'd prefer good reviews because I'm sensitive, but it is what it is one way or another. Let's see. We've got a lot of good stuff going on. This Friday comes our first episode of Death by Television since the conclusion of The Penguin. Creature Commandos will reach its halfway point this Friday, and we will be discussing it on Death by Television. We got another DC series. Death by Television has become our DC television show, I guess. But regardless, we got that halfway point. We'll cover it at the end of the show as well. Let's see. The Sentimentalists, of course, this Friday continues with The Two Towers. We've got the Lord of the Rings trilogy on deck right now. Fellowship was last week, Two Towers this week, Return of the King next week, along with, a week from today, it'll be Christmas, and we're going to celebrate with an episode discussing The Holdovers. And I'm very, very excited for that. So you can go over to the Cinementalists. You can listen on YouTube for any of our podcasts now. The Cinementalist, Fulcrum, and Penny Bloom Dispatch are all there. Death by Television is not. It'd be a little bit more data to transfer since it has all of the Game of Thrones rewatch and House of the Dragon and all that good stuff. So might just start fresh with Creature Commandos maybe. But yeah, I'm having a great time. I'm loving what we're doing. And yeah, so come back in 2 weeks where we will be covering episodes 5 and 6 of The Skeleton Crew. I guess we'll be here on New Year's is what it looks like.
Okay.
Which should work. That should be fine.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, then I think with that, we can conclude this episode of Fulcrum after some trivia. All right, simple trivia question. There is a Star Wars movie celebrating the anniversary of its release today, December 18th. What movie is celebrating the anniversary of its release? And if you want to go a stretch further, what
anniversary is it?
What year?
Okay, wow.
Yeah, what anniversary is it?
Shit. Okay. Let's see. December 18th. Christmas-ish release. I feel like the originals and all that were released. Well, I don't know about, I guess, the second and third movies, but they feel like more May or around there. Star Wars, May 25th, and May. Okay. I feel like it's a sequel. I feel like the sequels came out around Christmas time. But which one would it have been? Ooh. Well, if it's an anniversary, the sequel's that old. Are they really that old? Yeah, I mean, yeah, they are. We could.
I mean, they have an anniversary every year.
Yeah, but I guess
for what it's worth.
Usually it's a round number. I feel. Well, it could. I don't know. Maybe it is just a random, not a 5 or a 10 or whatever. But
I'll give you that. It's not a 5 or a 10.
Okay. So not a clean number. I'm gonna stick with the sequel. I feel like they were the Christmas, at least the ones I feel like I know that came out during the wintertime. And then, but which one? I guess I'll go maybe just with the first, The Force Awakens. And then, yeah, now I'm trying to think of what year The Force Awakens came out to get the how many years it's been out. When that would have been high school, would have been 2017, 20. Oh shit! I don't know, 2017 or 18. Is that when The Force Awakens came out?
Is that your final answer?
Yes, I'm gonna go with The Force Awakens for sure. I think that's
you were correct on The Force Awakens.
Let's go.
The Force Awakens, the first movie in the Disney era, was released 9 years ago today in 2015.
We're almost at the 10. We actually have almost hit a decade.
Next year will be a decade of The Force Awakens.
Okay. That is just
not okay at all, my friend. Yeah, I saw that in theaters. First Star Wars movie I ever saw in theaters and was like, oh my god, I love this. So, that's today is the birthday of The Force Awakens, so go ahead and get a good rewatch in. Celebrate it, and we'll go catch Interstellar tonight. It'll be a nice sci-fi day. But
I'm ready.
I'm ready. But yeah, with that, we will conclude this episode of Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with episodes 5 and 6. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
And it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, for light and life.